Okay, so I see where my mom is, so I know where not to look. So here we go. Have you ever heard someone, tears streaming down his or her face, say, "I promised myself I wouldn't cry"? If memory serves me, this is an image at the end of Disney's Lilo and Stitch, a cherished 2002 movie from my childhood. I was 6 years old. Now, 12 years is plenty of time for the psychological process of confabulation, or the brain's fabrication of fake memories, to take place. But if I'm not sorely mistaken, alien evil genius Dr. Jumba Jakiba says this, and after nearly 90 minutes of hunting down Stitch, his alien Frankenstein creation gone wrong, he has a change of heart and he weeps giant alien tears of joy. When I was 6 years old, Dr. Jakiba was my favorite character for a very different reason than he is now. I mean, an evil genius, alien scientist who wielded a giant ray gun was obviously going to be my favorite character. And he still is, but now it's because I realize how much I identify with him. And no, I'm not evil or an alien or a scientist. I'm talking about his stoicism. I'm a stoic person. I struggle to recall a time in my life where I haven't suppressed my feelings. It's just how I've always dealt with unpleasant emotions. My parents always tell me stories about an impassioned young child who at a moment's notice could go from laughing to crying to pouting for any number of reasons, real or imagined. I was just like my mom, but I don't remember any of it. And I don't remember at what point I lost this ability to feel my feelings for what they are. This emotional constipation I suffer from was probably at its worst right around the time I started high school. I went to Kate, a prestigious, highly selective boarding school in Carpinteria, founded by Curtis Wolsey Kate, a contemporary of Sherman Thatcher's. This was the worst possible institution I could have attended, because being in a highly stressful, highly competitive environment is not exactly the best thing for someone as high-strung as I am. But wait a second. I know what most of you are thinking. High-strung. Isn't that almost the polar opposite of stoic? Not necessarily. And being an English major, I'm always eager to point out others' shortcomings when it comes to the English language. So I prepared their exact definitions for juxtaposition. High-strung means nervous and easily upset. Stoic means enduring pain or hardship without showing emotions or complaining. So you would be wrong if you thought that these two words were mutually exclusive, because they're not. You can be easily upset, but as long as you maintain the same apathetic facade around everyone else, you can still be stoic. And this was my situation. I walked around school, agonizing over how I did on a math test, certain that if I failed, the very course of my life as I saw it would cease to exist. And for 2 years, I maintained a blank face to everyone I encountered in the hallways, enduring utter hell and unable to let anyone know. On occasion, it got to be too much, and I exploded. I would get home after a long day of school and unleash a multitude of emotions on my family that neither they nor I could explain. And every emotion that I'd held onto for days, weeks, and even months at a time came down on all of them hard. Everyone else could have sworn I was just fine, except for my family, who I was making just as miserable as I was. But one day it stopped. I skipped out on finals and I never turned back. I was leaving Kate for good, and I was convinced that this would solve everything. But wherever you go, there you are. 6 simple words that my coach instilled in me. Could a mere change of setting really change me? Or was this still the same Jared Brewer, who had literally pounded on the walls of his own home only a few months earlier? In retrospect, it all seems very unlikely. Unlikely that someone as tightly wound as I am could loosen up just by moving 19 miles west. But I did. I have loosened up more in my 2 years at Oak Grove than I have during any other period of my life. It wasn't merely a change of location or a new place to start anew. It has become a change of lifestyle. I have learned to see my peers as my teammates rather than my opponents. I have learned to see my teachers as my peers rather than my superiors. And I have learned to see myself for who I am and not for what I do on any given day. I'm still a good person, no matter what a mediocre performance on a math test says. Oak Grove has showed me that not everything is black and white, good or bad, wrong or right. There are shades of gray. And it is our job as students of this earth to determine for ourselves how gray. So here I stand, a student of this earth for 18 years, whole again, not making any promises about not crying, because I might. But I'm not. It's kind of awkward, the speech. It's quite possible that by the time I get to this sentence, I'm overpowered by the bitter sweetness of this moment and cry, or not. But only if I feel like it, and if not, that's fine too. So I want to thank my parents, my little brother, my grandparents, my girlfriend, and my friends, all for the same reason, loving me unconditionally in their own ways. Thank you.